Well, upward and onwards here. Now, this is going to be a bit of a different workshop video compared to others. I previously did one about fake coal loads for wagons, such as this. But to be more specific, removable ones, like so. Now I've been working on fixed coal loads, like this. It's in there pretty good. Just been held in by the PVA mix you use on ballast. And in my mind, that looks an awful lot better. Now, why am I mentioning this? Well, because I've had 1 or 3 odd tenders that, well, did not have coal loads, to be specific. Specifically, well, my 9F, my Hawksworth County class, as well as my LMS Crab. They did not have coal loads in the tenders. Now, as we can see with the 9F, a nice load there. The county, good full tender, ready for a run. And this one was actually the trickiest because that coal rail bit there. I figure it looks beautiful. My A1 had this plastic one and a little bit of what I think was scenic coal in the tender. So I thought, bugger it, did a job proper. Give it a full tender load. It's an express machine, for crying out loud. Now, this part is kind of a kick in the backside for me, because I recently found out my Q1 tender as a removable load. That's going to be one of the ones I'm going to be filling, as well as my Bullard West Country by Hornby. Both the Q1 and the West Country are Hornby tenders. And also, this one I already have masked up, is my IVIC Class 2 tender loco. Now, I've already got this one masked up purely because in case I'm a bit careless with the glue. But, yeah, as you can see by the load, not much going to be needed, so sweet. Now, I actually have some concerns with the Bullard Q1 tender. And if you can see, using this toothpick, I can demonstrate why. Yeah, it's gonna be, I'm gonna have to put it on an angle or something as the coal dries, or do it in steps. Annoying thing is that I can't just have it set up against something, because these steps along the tender, part of the detail, these steps here, see if I can get in camera, these, oi, focus on the steps, you dumb beggar. Thank you. These steps here, they're quite fragile. I don't want to break them. The West Country, on the other hand, no bother. It's just a bucket, really. So yeah, that should be easy to work with. Now, these 3 tenders are only 3 of 7 locomotives I can fill with coal load. The other 4 being my Bachmann Jubilee A3, not Bachmann A2, I mean, and my Hornby A4 and A3. Trouble is, the A4 and A3 have the same problem as the Q1 tender. The hole goes straight through. And I'll just grab this one. I got a little careless with the glue on this one, and it spilt out through the front there. I think you can just pick it up on camera. Not too sure really, but you know. You know how it is. Oh well. Basically, these have been completed for at least 94 hours, so about 4 days. Purely to let the glue dry properly. Because, well, if I demonstrate, gotta grab the right gear here because I left it on the other end of the layout, like a dummy. if I demonstrate with this, not the 16 tonner, but this wooden side one, if I get the couplers off. There we go. Alright. Small & Sons wooden plank wagon. Screw at the bottom used to be for the coal load, which I think is lying around somewhere. I can't remember, unless this is... Oh, this might be it actually. Might have just trimmed it up as much as I could. Now, whoa, as you can see, that there is what's left of the wet glue. All the dirt and crap in the glue got caught in glue, and yeah, it just got nasty. Screw that back up, otherwise it's going to be right pain over points. There we go. Now, I don't always just, fill it up with coal. I also take the real coal load, the fake coal loads that came with the wagons, like this one, and yeah, just trim them down so they go low, and then just do this to them. It's a good trick. It works when done right, and it gives a good effect. Also saves putting a hunk of polystyrene in. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to make sure the coal loads are fixed in proper. And for this, I'm going to need coal. Got a tub here of coal. Now, I've actually had to kind of shuffle it around because it's quite granular, and it do have 1 or 2 very large chunks in there. But yeah, it's sort of like unrefined sugar, really. 1 or 2 spoons, well, and adjust the handle. Well, it makes filling wagons, filling what has to have a load of coal in it a lot easier. And also, as I tried scenically with coal, makes a good doorstop. But yeah, also it's not just that kind of coal. I also got in this container, I think if you remember from my wagon video, some really, really, really fine stuff. I mean, if I put a brush through it, I could use it to dry weather stuff. Oops. But yeah, back to the point, which is these tenders. These tenders here are all done. I just have to do the West Country, the Bullard, and the Ivet. Now, since the Ivet's already got masked up, I might as well have to mask up the other 2. So, I'll be back in a bit, and we'll see how things go. Okay, welcome back. Now, I got the tenders taped up in case I'm careless with the glue. Heck, help me if I am. We're going to start with the Ivet first. So, if I just uncouple it from the West Country's tender and put the Bullards aside, there we go. Now for black tender, it ain't going to give much reference, so yeah, this should be good. Now the Midland was known for having a mix of, I think it was called hard coal. Not too sure. All I know is it has a slightly different look compared to Welsh coal. But, coal's coal in some cases. And, well, what I have here is not hard not technically hard coal, nor is it Welsh. It's just simply New Zealand West Coast coal. Now just let it shake into place. Got a bit of a worry as hang on, need something to point out. In the edges here and here, it's a fair bit of a panel gap, so I'm worried that the glue, in the edges here and here, panel gap, so I'm worried the glue might seep out through there. Let's see. All right. That should be okay. Let the glue run in and take hold. Oops, spilt it a bit. Now that can easily get vacuumed up later. Now, I know I talk it off camera, but it's kind of hard to do this next bit on camera, so bear with me. Because of the little hole bit in there, I have to fill it in a bit more. And yeah, it's filled in pretty nicely if you ask me. It's kind of hard doing this behind the camera, but I think it gives a general idea. Okay. Now, the keen eye will notice I've been kind of central with how I do the gluing. Simply because, well, it free flows anywhere. Now, just checking the sides. See if the glue's starting to run. Oh, we got a bit. Oh boy. Whoa, what the frig? We got glue coming out of the bottom. How the heck's that even possible? Okay, this might have been the worst tender to start with compared to the bullets. I guess this is a mistake on my part because I forgot to check how leak proof the tender is. Oh boy. This was a big muck up on my behalf, so oh boy. Oh boy. You know, back in the tick, folks. Okay, welcome back now. After a fair bit of cursing, cussing, and swearing, I think I have sorted out the whole glue issue. I took the tender apart, taking out the circuitry as well because glue was around it, and I had to clean each piece individually with tissue paper as well as cotton buds. Was not easy, and I found out what the leak was. As we can see here, I taped around the edge of the bottom of the bunker purely because that's where the glue was escaping. And it was right pain in the backside to do, I tell you that much. So, I think I just did a how not to do it version. Also, helpful reminder for anyone who tries doing this with their own locomotives. Take the tender apart if you're unsure about the clearances. Or if you want to risk it, probably put a thin line of that model body fill stuff you can get by Homebrew, I believe it is. And you can just use it to fill in the cracks and that. Should work just as well. Me, I just went low tech with tape. Now I'll just leave this on the tissue paper and put it to one side to fully dry. And I can't believe I mucked up that badly. Wow. Well, as long as the circuitry still works, I'll be happy. Okay. Next up, the Bullard Light Pacific tender. Now I'm actually going to have to give this a quick look first. And just a precautionary, just to see how well it does, I'm using this Homebrew liquid poly here. Now what that essentially is plastic weld. And what I just did was give it a nice liberal coat. So this stuff will literally weld the plastic, hopefully. But I do not intend on taking the tender apart. Even though all I have to do is just take out those screws underneath here. Where's something I can use to point? Basically one screw hole there, one screw hole there. I'm not taking them out purely because it is a faff to get the body off. So, but then again, I don't want a repeat of what just happened. So, this should be a great annoyance. Screwdriver, tender, you can see where this is going. Must still be in there. Either it's a long screw or very winding thread. There we go. That's one. You can always tell when they're factory tight because it's quite stiff to move. Alright. Whoops, there's two. Now, for the annoying bit, part I dislike greatly. Oh. Okay, that came off a lot easier than I thought it did. Okay. Turns out I never had this off before, so as we can see, room in there for a speaker. Or more weight. Whichever you prefer. And I'm actually quite surprised of how roomy that tender is. Wow. That's impressive. Quick look on the underside, and doesn't look like that liquid poly soaked through. But just because I don't trust it, gonna use some of this. Now, before anyone goes, hey, what are you doing? You're gonna ruin it. Relax. It's not thinners. It's not thinners for acrylic paint. It's for enamel paint. It's what I use when I do acrylic painting. Just plain old water. Good old H2O. Now what I'm gonna is just put a bead of it inside the tender, just along that bottom half bit anyway, just to see if any comes through the bottom. Give it the best chance possible to leak through. Quick look underneath. Doesn't look like any sign of a leak at all. Sweet. So I'll just grab a cotton bud, clean it up, and we can start coaling. Okay, that's good. But just in case, I'll keep the body off, because I do not want to revisit what happened to the Ivet. And just checking, yep, patch is still holding. So I'll just put the water to one side once I remember where the drat I put the lid. Ah, right behind there. This is, I admit, not my smartest video, but well, you do get a bit of entertainment, so you can't argue with that. I'll just put these screws back in where they belong first, because I don't want to lose them. All right. First screw came in easy. Second screw, not so much, because I have to do this off camera because it is really fiddly work, but bugger it. Oh, now it wants to go in. There. Now I'll just put the paintbrush over here. That way it kind of gives the glue a nice little lean in. Okay, grabbing the coal, bring it over here. If I recall, the Southern used Welsh coal along with the Great Western Toe. It's going to have to be looking a bit more chunky. The only thing is though, because we have such a small bunker, that's going to be an interesting thing to replicate. So, I think we're getting a good result here. Okay. Okay, I had to take it off camera, give it a fair bit of an internal shake. That way I know the coal spread. Now, to give it some glue. This I'll do off camera just in case of another mishap. Oops. Okay, that should be good. Okay, had to be off camera for a bit, purely because gluing is quite trivial bit, but yeah. Speaking of which, checking the Ivet again, we're good. we're good. I'll just put the tissue paper under the bullet, specifically around the cold bunker area, because I do not trust it in the slightest. There we go. And as we can see, it looks smarter already. I just have to carefully peel off the tape. Well, guess it was an odd bit. Oh well, there we go. To me that looks an awful lot better. Sticking, what the? Oh. No, it was just a friction fit that was holding it. Oh. Had me worried there for a moment. Now, I think I'll leave the choline here at this stage instead of going on to the Q1 tender. Purely because, one, I fear I may have to take the tender apart just to work it. Two, I don't know how well this is going to go. Actually, now that I think of it, screw it, I'll just do it the same way as I did the county tender, which is very carefully. But yeah, next time you'll see these completed tenders will probably be in an upcoming running session video. Till then, this is Up One Onwards saying good night.